Sandra all the time is here with the cold heart true. She's the ears and the eyes for me and you. Every day, everyone want to hear from Sandra. And every time on the air, she's getting better. Tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your mama, call Sandra in the morning and in the evening. They always calling Sandra. And when they start fighting, they calling Sandra. And
That's right, folks. Everyone is telling their mama about the cold hard truth. Welcome to another episode with more truth-telling, more problem-solving, and of course, more tea spilling than ever before. Sit back, students, grab your tea and turn up the volume because class is now in session. Call in at 936-2626 because your voice matters. Share your opinion on issues that matter the most to you.
These kebabs.
Ooh, yum.
Good morning. Happy Monday.
One again.
Okay.
For
today,
best wings. I think they're a four-time winner. Four-time winner. So it was great. So the video is up. We put it up yesterday if you want to check out the
right. I'm going to turn up my volume
our
just a tad
Facebook
here.
page. It is facebook.com/1061 Kiss FM. And there you can see the pictures, the winners, and the video from Saturday. All right, at 7:30 exactly, let's get some news headlines this morning.
Big news. I have some important news for you.
Why is it that I'm not seeing Blake and Aaron on my
Spilling
thing?
the tea with Sandy.
K-Man's top news headlines of the day from CMR.
Hey, Sandy, good morning.
Good morning, Blake and Aaron. How are you guys doing?
We're all right. How are you?
All right, awesome. Speak again for me. I'm trying to see if you're actually going through the radio.
Hello.
Yeah, we are,
Here we are.
live on the radio.
I'm not so sure you're live on Bobo is the problem. All right.
Well,
Let me
you're
might have to
here
make
on
some
Kiss.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Yes, might have to make some adjustments there. All right. So good morning to everyone. You notice the last couple of days we have been complaining about internet issues. Remember last week I was like, oh, you guys are freezing a little bit. I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Well, apparently over the weekend, I got some news, which I did not know, that the Maya 1 cable was somehow cut, or there's an issue with it. It's actually down.
Are you kidding?
So we did not know this, and we're trying to get some additional information on this from Offreg, including when there might actually be a repair. Because I've noticed some kind of unreliability that was hard to pinpoint, really.
Yeah.
So there you go. We'll try to see how much downtime we're going to be expecting.
And for those that don't know, it's the big cable that runs from the United States to this little island. That's
right.
how we get our internet.
Very important.
It's a K1K, it's like it's an extension cord.
Yay.
All the way from Miami on the ocean floor.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That runs
Extremely
to
important.
the Cayman Islands, believe it or not.
Mhm.
You unplug the extension cord,
Done.
we don't have
got-
internet.
Yeah.
We got problems. And I think, to be quite frank and honest, there have been some concerns about redundancy over the years, and just making sure that we're not stuck here without an option when things happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, right. In other news, Butterfield Bank is confirming a phishing email has been sent out to their customers. This one was a bit unusual because it looked very, very legit. I saw it and I thought, ooh, this has a potential to fool a lot of people, because normally you can tell by the writing it's kind of
Bad grammar.
is one or two typos and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
In this instance, the grammar was flawless, I must say.
And where was it sent from if you clicked on the email address?
Right. So, but a lot of people still don't know how to do that. So, but yes, it did come from a non-Butterfield email address. So they've actually issued a statement over the weekend after we posted it to say that this wasn't from them, but it was a standard KYC email that, we need updated information from you for a KYC review, which is something we know that the banks always do. So that sounded kind of legit.
Well, the banks always say, hey, we don't email you and ask for your personal stuff, but they do because they're doing the KYC
They
stuff.
do. Yeah. So it kind of confuses people.
Well,
I actually responded and said, yeah, when I first got the KYC email, I was like, yeah, I don't do, I don't trust things over the email. And you guys said you would never email me about personal stuff. So go away. And they're like, yeah, but
we need it now, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, sorry. Yeah. You have to find a different way to do that.
Yes. So frustrating for sure. Okay. So just be careful. Check that email, like where it's actually coming from.
Shouldn't they just send like an email that says, you need to go into your account and sort this out. Don't click on any links. You go and solve this in your own account.
Except that what they need to update normally,
send it through a message on your online banking.
Or call. Hey, this is so-and-so from Butterfield Bank.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Anyway.
All right. Those are your news headlines. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Sandy.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
All right. Have a great day. Aaron, what do you got coming?
All right, folks. Give me one quick second here. I am aware that we are MIA this morning on Facebook. It's the same thing that got us put in YouTube jail. Facebook was a little bit later than YouTube. Has now put us in Facebook jail. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to send everybody that alternative link. And we're also going to post it on the public page. The struggles with these companies, I tell you. Okay, just give me 1 second to send out the links to everyone. YouTube. We got the YouTube link ready. Then I'm going to start Instagram. And then we got Facebook. So just go to the, if you go to the Facebook page, we will post the alternate of where it's being streamed so that you guys should have it. Right. So everybody's good. Hi, Jill. Everybody's like, where are you? You got to know how to look for alternatives. Because trust me, I feel like Facebook jail, WhatsApp jail, it's always a possibility. You just never know. We didn't really do much of anything, to be honest, but just goes to show you, honey chow. Let me copy this link. Yes. So we're gonna, we got our backup, don't worry. We do have a backup option. All right, everybody had a good weekend. How was it? Uneventful, hopefully. I feel like an uneventful weekend is actually really, really good for most of us. Too much drama. No bueno. So, what did I do this weekend? Wow. This rain. My goodness. I mean, we are so thankful for it. If we keep getting rain like this, I want to know, does that reduce the chances of a hurricane? Like if it just keeps raining? Because I'm thinking, this is my thought processes. You guys can let me know what you think about this idea. Are we willing to compromise on having a rainy hurricane season, like every single week, and 0 hurricanes, versus sunshine and the heat, and then it's like, OMG, here comes the storm. And then it keeps down on the electricity bill too when it rains because it's not quite as hot. Although the humidity level, I don't know. I mean, in my mind, the humidity level is still very much a significant problem. So at night, I'm still getting hot. I'm still hot and bothered, honey. Yeah. And so, looking at the AC temperature at night, wanting to turn on the fan in addition to the AC, scared to drop it below 78. I'm like, don't drop it. I'm going to get a fan. I'm going to get a standing fan. and put in the bedrooms. Yes, this is the compromise. Because Lord knows the compromise can't be turning off the AC completely, because I can't deal with that. But these units are working overtime in this heat and humidity. Had mine checked out the other day. Big shout out to the good guys over at Polar Bear. They did a comprehensive examination for me on the, what do we call it now? On the air quality. And so that was interesting. I'm still waiting on the report, though. They're supposed to be sending me a report. So I'm still waiting on the details of the report in order to get all the stuff. But, the young man told me some stuff as he was here. There's a couple things that we definitely need to look at. Something's leaking in one of the units. It's always something with these AC units. Oh, my God. Truth be told, I legitimately wish that I could live without air conditioning, because it is a pain to maintain all the units. Like, it's always something. Oh, well, this one's not working optimally. And in the ducking, there's some mold starting to, I'm like, really? Gosh. A cooler climate, maybe, where air conditioning isn't necessary would be nice. But Cayman gets very, very humid. And I hear that one of the worst things that people do here, and it happens a lot during the summer months, especially because the kids are out of school, constantly opening and closing the doors and other stuff with the AC running. Like, some people actually leave doors open and have the AC running. And I'm told that it causes significant humidity problems. An AC technician was even telling me, like, in the hotels, it's something that they struggle with all the time, because of course people are always like, the sliding doors are open. They want, oh, let's look at the beautiful ocean view, and just leave the patio door open. And then the AC is running at the same time, and it causes a lot of problems. So, yeah, there are days that I'm like, man, if there was a way for me to live without air conditioning and not have these 4 units, like, having to be regularly serviced. And it's not just regular servicing. It's always like, oh, well, something else is going on with the unit. And, we need to top it up because clearly it has a slow leak. I'm like, another leak? Are you kidding me? And then when you replace them, well, sometimes you can't always look at just going with the highest SEER. You got to look at these other factors. And, it's just a pain in the rear end. It's just crazy. I don't know. All right. Somebody says, no, Sandra, rain will only make us more susceptible to catastrophic damage, as the ground is soft and thus large trees fall easier. Yikes. What we want is Sahara dust, the temperatures condition favorable for storm development. Conditions favorable for storm development. Really? I could swear we had Sahara dust before and that didn't help much. I don't know. Ugh. Lord, what a mess. Somebody says, I don't think that's how hurricanes work. I'm laughing out loud. Can I just pray a hurricane away? Somebody says, yes, rain, no hurricane, please, God. What a hot mess. I don't know. I'm just, don't want the storm, and then I'm kind of getting sick and tired of the rain as well. I'm just being honest here. I know we're supposed to be thankful for everything and thankful for the blessings from above, but it's a bit much. And I'm so annoyed at this man who owns these cows. Like, I really want to go in and let the cows free. Like, I really feel like if that probably wasn't a criminal act, which I don't know that it is. Is it a criminal act to let, abused animals free? You feel like you could go to jail for that and you'd be comfortable for the 2 days that they'd put you in jail for it. What is wrong with this guy? Does somebody have his number? I want to call him because I went by there yesterday. I happened to have been in West Bay. Big shout out to Papagala's. Best brunch in West Bay for sure. One of the best on the island, I think. My favorite. I love it. Their food. But I don't feel like I never go to the breakfast section. There's so many sections that I just don't touch, because the one section in the middle with the salads and the raw fish and stuff like that, I'm not big on the raw fish, but they do a salad that's like a tropical salad. So I put like the other lettuce and then I put that on top of it. I love that section with all the cheeses. I love cheeses, unfortunately for me. Manchego is like one of my favorite cheeses. They had goat cheese, the shrimp. I didn't even have sushi yesterday. I didn't even touch the sushi. I was like, oh my God, I'm so full already. But they have amazing food on their brunch spread. And you know what? The staff are amazing. So big shout out to the management and crew over there. Really wonderful staff, super friendly. And they have this drink. Now, you guys know that I don't drink, but they do have this drink called, oh gosh, what it is again? It's a Piertini or something. I think that's what it's called. It is so good. So I tell them, the first time I forgot that it had alcohol in it because I was like so hungry. I was like, oh, just bring me a Piertini. And then I was like, oh yeah, I don't drink. So round 2, just bring me a virgin. It does taste a little bit better with the alcohol in it because the consistency is a little bit different. So I think next time, tell them just put a tips of alcohol just so they can mix it, you know? But it's so good. Oh my God. Go to brunch there next week and tell me what you think. But you know what? They're always booked up. You got to plan in advance normally when you want to go to them, especially if it's around any special occasions, Father's Day, Mother's. Forget it. If you don't book out early, good luck, Kenichia. Another favorite brunch spot of mine is Thai Orchid. It's one of the most reasonable brunches on island. And lately I've been thinking, oh, I could just pop in on a Saturday or Sunday for brunch. And I just call them, or a couple of weeks ago, I just walked in and they were like, Miss Sandy, we're so sorry for you. No brunch. I was like, what? They were so busy, completely booked. But I'm so happy for them because I think a lot of restaurants, we're going to talk about restaurants shutting down this morning. A lot of restaurants are struggling a little bit. Let's talk about why that is. Somebody said, no Facebook feed. Yes, it's a little backup feed here. I'm going to give it to you. There you go. There you go, honey chow. So weather-wise, I mean, you know, I know that we've been getting soaked. Like I said, I was in West Bay yesterday when it was raining all afternoon. And then when we got to brunch and it was raining there, I thought to myself, well, what's the point of going anywhere? We might as well just hang out here and chillax and eat more. I think we were one of the last people to leave, child. We were like, oh, let's just have a good time. So I'm working on an expose for you all around the immigration matter. I'm often surprised at how people are able to hoodwink our immigration system. And what's pretty crazy to me is the fact that, I don't know, WRC wants people to come forward and help them. And at the same time, when people do come forward, it seems like it takes a miracle, an act of God, to get them to not grant somebody a work permit. And I'm beginning to have a real issue with this because I'm not so sure what the problem is. So I'm not ready to talk about this individual quite yet because I'm still fact checking a few things. But I'm going to just do a name drop and let you guys know that this is something that I'm actually working on. Mm-hmm. Now, this show is very, how shall I put this? This show, this individual, when I talk about this individual, this is going to be PGR++. In other words, no kids need to listen to this. Because there are things that I want to show you all by way of evidence that is shocking about the type of person that this guy is. And so I don't want you all to, there's certain things that are just not appropriate for children. And trust me when I tell you, this would be one of them. We have a bit of a morality clause, not a bit of, it does say that morally bankrupt individuals should not be getting work permits on this island. And yet They are. Not only are they getting work permits, they're also doing some of the most horrendous stuff. I don't even want to get into it yet. But when I tell y'all what this dude is up to, y'all are going to be very, very surprised. I would think so. Ooh, this one gonna be this one definitely has to be, we can't be on air for this one. This is gonna be a big after show, a big expose. He's got friends in high places, I hear. Boyfriends at Maples and Calder while he was married, and wife didn't know he was interested in boyfriends. I'm just saying. We will be exploring this one with all his different alternative accounts and fake things that he's been up to. Lord Jesus. And when it's brought to WRC's attention, they sit back and they do nothing. Not a thing. And our own Caymanians, I got my eyes on you, got him living up in their house for 2 years, knowing that the man has no legitimate employment. They have his work permit. They claim they don't now, but I'm going to double check because I already started fact checking. Claim that they don't have his work permit. But I know that they had his work permit, and I know he's living in their house for several years. And y'all call yourselves a Caymanian, and y'all want to talk about, we need to do something about these people coming here and taking advantage of the system. Y'all need to shut your mouths, because when you're part of the problem, I don't want to hear it. Let me be very, very crystal clear. You all are part and parcel of the problem. And I love how it's like rules for me and no rules for thee, or no rules for me and rules for thee. That's how y'all be operating. And I'm just like, oh no, honey child, that can't work. He's a bum. And I don't know what kind of special sexual favors he's giving you, but it can't be worth, as his male friend, it cannot be worth having the caliber of individuals like this on our island. Morally bankrupt individuals. Fraudsters. You don't even have any work here. What are you doing? Don't worry, son. Next show, I'm getting all my stories together. All my facts. You'll soon find out the real score around here. I only wish that, don't worry, we got enough already. Wow. This dude, I feel so dirty even talking about him this morning. Like this should be not just an after show. This can't even be in the morning, honey child. This is like, it has to be, after 10 o'clock at night, after 10:30 at night, because that's how dirty you feel talking about certain people. Oh, he's one of those people, honey child. Oh my God. So disgusting. Anyway, George Oakley, good morning to you. George's girlfriend is probably listening. I'm hearing that she's supposed to be some big shot, thinking that she's running the show around the place. And she now has Cayman status. Of course, she's like, oh, well, I'll take care of him. I'll keep him here. I'm like, honey child, you can try and keep him all you want. He's somebody else's boy toy, another man, not yours. And you don't have to accept the facts, but we have the photos. We have the photos. Okay. So, honey child, you don't have to believe what's in front of you. But, and we've got photos, we've got messages, Snapchat accounts, videos, the whole, I don't want to say the whole kit and caboodle because we don't have all of it, because, but we have enough that should make you know that some people are living a DL life. Y'all know what DL stands for, old folks? Listen up now. Down low. And he's real low. Okay. So Aliano says, yes, we need a Midnight with Sant. Trust and believe. This is one of those shows. So I'm working on some new projects. I can't tell y'all yet what it is, but I think y'all are going to be very excited when I make the announcement about what's going on. Giving me greater freedom and autonomy. Let me just put it that way. So excited. I love freedom and autonomy. Ugh, what a hot mess. Ay. Aliano says, nice knock on wood, because Sandy brewing a hurricane as we speak. Jonathan says it's an insult to Bananas. Bananas, the restaurant? Or something else? Good morning, Scott. How you doing, honey Jill? Nothing significant brewing. Rain, yes, but no thunderstorms or hurricanes through July. How can you predict that far ahead? I mean, or you mean July is in like next week? Ay. Looks like y'all found the backup link. Praise the Lord. Share it with everybody this morning. Good morning, Miss Beulah. You guys looking so good this morning. Barbara says no AC, then you would need heating, which is even more expensive. Ooh, you're probably right. Living in cold temperatures probably isn't much more fun. I know when we were in when I lived in Tampa back in the 80s, my aunt had an older house, and then she ended up building on that same land a bigger, much nicer house, lots of room and whatever. But before that, I remember the old house, the old wooden house, in fact, and that house, there was like no central anything. Obviously, it was like a really old house, and she used to take, when it would get cold, she'd take out the portable heaters and plug those in. And you have to be very careful with them because you can start fires and all kind of stuff with them. But child, those winter months, you know, me being a little Caribbean 9-10-year-old, I was like, oh my God, I can't take this. I'm so cold. Wearing gloves in the house. Having to get up like at 4:30 to try and get ready to start to catch the bus and stand up by the bus stop. Thankfully, our bus stop was literally right across the street when I was in elementary school. So I didn't have to go that far. But still, I mean, the bus, you can't predict when the bus would come. So you need to be out there by a certain time. And your face would be freezing to death. Your lips would be so cold. Oh my gosh. I don't think it gets quite as cold as it used to in Tampa, because back in those days, it used to drop down in the teens. And I remember the citrus fruit, it was a big deal because everybody, all the citrus farmers were concerned about their crop. And they would spray the crops with water to freeze them, because apparently it was better to freeze them that way. Then it gave them like a sheet of protection, and they would actually try to cover them as well. But that was better than letting them just freeze without the water spread. So, So Shamara says, enough Caymanians around here. Enough expats around here married to Caymanian women and sleeping with other men. Trust me, the list is long. Well, he wasn't married to a Caymanian. Might have been a different outcome if he was. And again, enough slack Caymanians too. I wouldn't say slack. I would say that a lot of times when women find out that their men are like DL men, they don't even know what to do. It's got to be such a shock. Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I cannot even imagine. There's like a, you know, they have like the bro code and whatever. There's got to be some code that you men should know about, and women, I suppose. Let's make it universal. You cannot be in a relationship with someone and not tell them that you're on the DL and not tell them that you're gay. Like don't do that. Give them the option of like at least being able to choose if they want to be with you. You know what I'm saying? Because most women are not interested in a bisexual man or a DL man. Like if you say to them, honey, yeah, I like you and whatever, but you know, I prefer men. They're going to be like, listen, honey, chow, just go do you. I'm not going to marry you. We're not going to have any children together. I don't want that commitment. I don't want a ring on my, no. You go do you, whatever that is, whatever form that is. And, you know, we'll be fine without you around the place. It's a different kind of betrayal. I mean, it's bad enough when people cheat, but to then cheat with another man. Oh my God. Yo, That might be the day that I actually go to jail. And y'all know I support my LGBTQ community. One of the reasons why I support them is I don't want them hiding in the closet. I'm just like, listen, be you, be who you are, live in your truth. If that's who you are, I ain't got no problems with it. Where you and I are going to buck heads and have a problem is when you want to live a lie and you want to pretend like that's not who you are. And you get in relationships with really good people and you end up breaking their hearts and sending them crazy. Because that'll make a woman crazy. She's going to question all sorts of things about herself, looking for all the signs. So how did I know? Did I not see the signs that he was wearing my underwear before this? This reminds me of a Kardashian moment where y'all would talk about what's his name? Bruce, what's his name? Bruce, whatever, Jenner. Did he used to wear what's her name undies and she knew about it and she was complacent with it? I don't know. She claims she didn't know up until a certain point. And then she kind of knew he was into cross-dressing, but she thought that that's all it was. She didn't realize that he wanted to be a woman too. You know, if he lived in a different era and people were just more accepting of you being who you are, he would not have lived all of his life pretending to be something he was not. What a hot mess. Thank you, Scott. Yes, I know Mark. He's awesome. I love me some Mark, the weatherman. I'm still trying to reach him so he can collaborate with us over here. Be like, hey, Mr. Weatherman. All right, honey chow. So good morning. I know it's a lot for Monday morning. And I'm not going to get into that. Like I said, that's a whole other show. But we're going to get there. I'm doing some additional research at this particular time and who this guy is. And most importantly, why is he in Cayman with no real job? And one of our own took out a work permit for him to be able to stay here. And I find this very, very egregious because the one of our own don't have work for himself. So how he have a company and have work for somebody else? And then when WORC is notified about it, what do? Right. All right. What about the Honduran girl who's been here for 4 years on time and cabinet keeps giving her time and all now? I spoke to a few cabinet members. Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. Maybe I wasn't there. You weren't there every single time she got an extension over the past 4 years? I find that hard to believe. And the thing is, the law is not being equally applied because there are other people who've been in her exact situation and were not permitted to stay in Cayman. So what makes her special? Who is she friends with up in cabinet? There's probably another sexcapade going on there that we need to find out about. Something's going on. This is not a normal situation. And so I'm going to post her up again because I want answers. Our cabinet, they believe that they're all powerful according to them. This is the whole argument now with them and the NCC, the National Conservation Council. They're like, no, cabinet is all powerful. Actually, cabinet is not all powerful. Everybody answers to somebody. Right? And so I'm beginning to wonder if we can't bring a judicial review against why they keep extending her stay here in the Cayman Islands. That's going to be coming next. Y'all have to know you are not all powerful. This is what y'all think in your head. First of all, we elect you all to public office, and then you form cabinet. So when y'all are sitting there doing the most ridiculous stuff that you do, I want to know how you believe that cabinet is supreme. Nobody ever said cabinet is supreme. They've already been sued before and had their, trying to remember this case now. Had their, this was over a dock or something, right? Had their powers challenged. So how can you claim supremacy? You can't claim no supremacy in law or otherwise. Y'all better be very, very careful what you go out there telling people what cabinet is supreme, because you're going to start getting challenged even more. The kind of money y'all make, I'm surprised that some of y'all are so stupid. I must admit. Y'all don't, I hear people, listen, I'm not saying that cabinet members should, and this is the danger of electing the people that we do, I'm not saying that cabinet members have to have law degrees, but by gosh, you're part of the body that's going to help to write laws, to shape laws, and all that kind of stuff. So y'all need to be a little bit more intelligent than some of you all are. This is why we should not be electing people with no education whatsoever. And listen, a piece of paper doesn't mean that you're educated. So there are people who have, because of their experience, a good understanding of a legal framework. They can understand legislation. These are the criteria that we need to be looking at candidates. Yeah? And because we don't have any of that, we're getting cracker box. It's like you open up the cracker box and you start to dig through it. You never know what you're going to get. It's like what's his name said in that movie. Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Well, apparently our MPs are like that too. We never know what we're going to get, but this is our fault. There's a difference. There isn't a total element of surprise here. Why? Because if you hire a donkey and he shows up to be a donkey and he's riding into the night as a donkey, what else would you expect? I mean, should we be surprised at some of these guys and what they're bringing to the table? I know we had high hopes, but God, one thing I've learned is you can't take an empty barrel and just hope that it's going to manifest into gem, with no training, no nothing. That's just not how it works. And they become so incredibly vulnerable to influences from other people. And this is also a problem. No backbone. Let me tell y'all something. This is why my aunt always used to say this. When you got something in your head, nobody can take that away from you. Not only can they not take it away from you, but it puts you in a very different chair at the table. Because people know that you're no fool. And they're going to come at you. They might still come at you with stupidity. Don't get me wrong, because they be trying me. I'd be like looking at them like, because I look like I was born this size. Yes, Lord. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. Jonathan said, please don't insult the donkeys. He said, this is an insult to donkeys. I know. We got to find another way to describe them, but I can't help it, the jackasses. But when they know they can't hoodwink you, they try their best. They can tell you this and that, and then you go, okay, well, how about read this section of the law? How about do this? Sandy's stepping forward with questions. She's not going to just sit back and be like, oh, yeah, I'm going to believe you just because you said it. I'm going to wait a minute. That doesn't make any sense. And here's why. And maybe we need to look at this. And this is what the evidence is. Oh, gosh. Wow. How dare you challenge people when they bring you BS stories? What a hot mess. Honey Joe. I'm trying to find that decision with Cabinet, where Cabinet was challenged. It was over the building of a dock. Was it Crystal Harbor? Hold on. I can't remember now. Sometimes you gotta do a little word search. Crystal Harbor. 1 second. This was, I think, maybe 2 years ago now. 1 or 2 years ago. What was the name of that case again? And they sure did win. They challenged Cabinet and they won. So Cabinet ain't supreme if the courts can tell you what to do, Cabinet. Wonk, wonk, wonk. Wasn't, okay, maybe if it was in Crystal Harbor. What other harbor was it? Oh my goodness. What is that? Who was that lawsuit again? I think that was the PPM government. So it would have been PPM Cabinet, and Donkey Man was one of the ministers. I'm gonna have to find the story. Oh gosh, if anybody else can remember which challenge it was, do let me know. Cassius says, remember, donkeys only get elected by donkeys. Who on earth is Keener Francis? Is donkey a lie? No, it's a development close to Vista Del Mar. What's it called? Oh, man. That was John and Marcus Cumber. I know Dwayne Seymour. Hold on. He's like the leader of donkeys. He was somehow involved in this. Yes. Got it. June 2021. Yes. Judge finds former Minister Seymour's recommendation to allow a 120-foot dock illogical. Minister, you were challenged and checked by cabinet. So when y'all talking about cabinet is supreme, I want every single one of you, write this down in your notebook, chillin'. Here you go. Write it down. You're not supreme. You can and will be challenged. Yes. And look at this, going back to DOE and planning CPA again. They're always Salt Creek. That's right. Thank you, ma'am. They're always messing with DOE, knowing that they don't have a legal leg to stand on. And that's one of the reasons why they want to try and change the law to give them all legal rights to do whatever they want. This is a problem. Hear what the judge said? Given his decision to recommend the grant of the permit, one can only infer that the minister believed that DOE's views and planning's concerns should be accorded no weight, and that the objections of the Strat and other private objectors should be ignored. Here once again, a court saying, y'all got it wrong. Right? Yes. Hear what the good learned judge said. Cabinet was under no obligation to take the least environmentally damaging option, but I also accept that it was irrational for Cabinet to pick the more environmentally damaging option in the face of the position from its own DOE without any positive reasons for doing so. We need to archive this article because ironically, this article speaks volumes, and I'm going to come back to it one day and explain to you all in full why this article has so much greater significance when it comes to something like the National Conservation Act. I'm just saying, this is a keeper. This decision was a landmark decision. You make Cabinet keep messing around. They're gonna start getting more of these. They're gonna get sued even more. Yet they believe they're supreme. I mean, your supremacy was just checked by the judge, by the courts. You can't be supreme if the judge can tell you that this is how it's going to go. Just saying. Be careful the things that you go around saying that don't make no sense. Okay? What a hot mess we're in. And Dwayne Seymour now, in a case like this, he is the one who you all want to give the ministry, Kathy's ministry to, the ministry, environmental ministry. Can y'all help me have this make any logical sense? He's already been checked by the courts once for his decisions in relation to the environment and approving projects. And yet, y'all think that he's the one to hand over Kathy's ministry to, just because y'all upset with her at the moment? Well, you know, I've been upset with Kathy too, God knows. But that doesn't mean that the decision that you're making in this moment is the correct decision to be making. I'm just saying. You got to do the right thing. And your inability to do the right thing, folks, in trying times says a whole lot about you. I'm just saying, y'all gonna find yourselves in a lot of trouble when the push comes to shove, which is gonna be the next election. They believe, what month are we in now? June? Coming up in July? They believe there's a lot of passage of time between now and the next election where the people are going to forget everything. that's going on. Huh. Well, I guess y'all don't know the real score. Because I can assure you, not only are we the people not going to forget what's going on, CMR going to help you remember, just in case y'all do get a case of convenient amnesia. When the whole campaigning starts and they bring out the blow horns and all the frills that be fooling you people, make you lose your good senses. Yeah. They give you a chicken wing and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't remember what he did. What? They were trying to build a port? I don't remember that. Right. Ay, ay, ay. It's coming. Ah, boy, I tell you. Do y'all not realize that although we've not had a referendum on this, that the people spoke very, very loudly about the port? Not loud enough, as far as I'm concerned, because they should have removed all PPM members in the last election. But anyway, they spoke very loudly about how they felt about the progressives, the PPM government, trying to push the port down our proverbial throats. Removing government's requirement on themselves to have to do an EIA means that that port and many other projects that we do not want are going to be coming down the pipeline, and there'll be zero check and balances on it. Siobhan, good morning. Siobhan Berry in the house, as some people don't like to be challenged. Ooh. Good morning, caller.
Morning, how are you doing?
Not bad. How are you?
Pretty good.
Nice.
Which sovereignty are they talking about?
This is what some of them have been telling me, that cabinet is supreme. Did you not read it in the letter that they sent out in response to former Premier Wayne Panton?
No, I did.
Okay, they sent out this once. Nobody would sign their name to it, which I always find very, very suspect. But they sent out this statement saying that one of the biggest problems they have with the current legislation is that Gina Petrie, her position is higher than cabinet, and cabinet is beholden to her decisions, which, by the way, isn't actually the case at all. If they would learn how to read as legislators, I read this on Friday or Thursday, whenever it was, section 39(1), part 7 of the National Conservation Law 2013 says appeal against a decision of the council, that a person aggrieved by decision of the council, refusing an application, imposing a condition, amending a work permit, a whole list of things, may, within 21 days of the date of the decision, appeal against it to cabinet. So how can you read that section of the law and say that she is somehow supreme to cabinet? And they're saying, well, cabinet are the elected people, which, by the way, not for nothing, but cabinet is not elected by the people of this country. The MPs are. So even that statement is completely erroneous. Cabinet is not elected by the people.
And about in addition to that, while we're on this issue of sovereignty, we don't have a parliament here. I know we have something called a parliament, but what a parliament is a sovereign legislative body. What we have is a legislative assembly, which is a subordinate legislative body, which is why we are subordinate to the UK House of Commons. They are subordinate. They are sovereign.
Mm-hmm.
We are not. Okay, and there is so much nonsense being said by in government that it just really blows my mind. I don't know. Something we need a correction. We need a correction because things are out of control. But on this point about the national conservation legislation, if they want to change the law, the correct way to do it would be to go to the House. it would not be correct to just ignore or misconstrue what the legislation says. That's not the correct way to deal with it. So the argument about, oh, we're sovereign, no, that doesn't work.
Well, they're prepared, caller, to be very clear. They're prepared to change the legislation with very little consultation and against the will of the people.
Well, if the government wishes to change the legislation, the appropriate action is taking it to the House. Now, changing it in what way and whether the public agrees with it or not, well, that's a different matter. But on this, just to change the subject slightly, about the court. See, we do things halfway in Cayman. We don't address issues comprehensively. What should have happened is they should have had a referendum. The reason for that is that when you have a petition that gathers more than 25% of the electorate in signatures, it obligates the country to have a referendum. In other words, if the government had done what it ought to have done, which is instead of dealing with it sort of in an informal way, which is just look at the petition and say, okay, and dealt with it in the formal way, which is to have a referendum, this would have been a settled matter. But you see, it's resurfacing because it wasn't completed properly.
Yep.
Anyhow.
So thank you, Danny. I appreciate it. 936-2626. Phone lines are open, obviously. Somebody said, tell Denny it's half. You know what? Donkey butt. Another word for donkey. All right. What a hot mess, I tell you. Lord have mercy. Siobhan says, true, but I hope they don't complain again for the next 4 years when they don't have their jobs or want to destroy what is remaining on this island. Symphony of the Reefs, good morning. Says, we love obedience, but to get obedience, they flog us until we are, and we love our servitude blindly. Jonathan agrees that Denny says 100% agree, Denny. The cabinet are the ones who have too much power and or control over decision-making processes. You know what I find so interesting about that comment, Jonathan? When they make this argument that, she has more power than cabinet, it has occurred to me that they obviously missed the memo that we don't want them having any more power than they already do. We can't even get a minute of, we get a summary, which the previous premier put in place. That wasn't happening under the Progressives government for sure. They were not that transparent. So we got a little bit more transparency, but the details of what is missing in those so-called summary papers can be quite a bit. So they say that cabinet has a right to keep that information private. They have this ability to still protect what is said under this cloak of privacy. They're lucky, because I'm telling you that most people don't even believe that that should be the case with cabinet. I think all board meetings, every single board, CPA, all of them, their meetings should be open to the public. You know, if that was the case, y'all would be shocked and surprised what's happening over at, for example, departments like, or government agencies like the Port Authority. The foolishness that be going on in those board meetings, the stuff that they purposely leave out. Oh, don't put that in there. I said something, but don't write that in the minutes. That's not how board minutes work. The whole thing should be recorded. It should be live streamed as far as I'm concerned. This would be true government transparency. Now we'd really see what's going on. Damien says, vote for Denny. I don't know if he's running or not. But that would be true transparency. Instead, we have this, we want to be transparent, but we're not really going to be transparent. You all are the ones that people are afraid of. You think anybody afraid of, if you're afraid of Gina Petrie and the National Conservation Council, that means you up to no good. And you're trying to cloak it under this general umbrella of, nobody should be more supreme than cabinet. She's not more supreme than cabinet. So let's fact check that point. She can be challenged by cabinet and the courts. People have a right of judicial review against government decisions, which would include the NCC. Exercise your right. Live Happy says a t-shirt, bottle of water, fridge, $500, turtle meat, load of marl, a coat of paint, cash donation to churches, fun days, turkey, cut yard, paid wedding, a plate of food, not 2025, Bobo. Live happy. Yes. Damien says, I doubt you'd find board members. Well, you'd find board members who don't have anything to hide and have no interests in all the cloak and daggers and secrecy and all this other foolishness. You'd find board members, but they know that they'd have to be on their best behavior when they walk through those boards and sit down. Some of them just there for the free lunch. Let me be very honest with you. They're there for the little sandwiches that they're going to be ordering because they're so desperate. All these political favors. Symphony says that transparency is just an attractive word. We don't even know what transparency is because it's never demonstrated correctly, right? Live stream those meetings and then it'd be demonstrated correctly. Every single CPA meeting, those CPA board members that we were talking about last week, they need to be held accountable for some of the foolishness that's going on in this country. Y'all upset about applications that are getting approved and what they're doing? Well, there's their names. Go talk to them. Ian Perdue, Charles Russell Jr., Donette McLaughlin, Ashton Bodden, Handel Whitaker, Peter Kinberry, that John boy, Shakima Bush. Isn't that Mr. What's his name daughter? Isn't that Bernie's daughter? Haroon Pandui, hold them all accountable. Joshua Bernard, Peter Campbell, Christine Maltman, Gillard McLaughlin, Kenneth Ebanks, Celicia Bancroft. Y'all know these people. They make up the current Central Planning Authority. They're the ones rubber stamping certain things that a lot of us are raising an eyebrow about. Maybe y'all need to start talking to them and holding them accountable. Board members should be held accountable for their decisions. How y'all figure that they can't be held accountable? What kind of foolishness is that? I don't know where y'all getting this from. Let's talk about real transparency. Let's have those board meetings streamed. And every time they vote on something, we know exactly how they voted and what they had to say on any given matter. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy.
Morning, darling.
Good topic. How in the world did Gillard McLaughlin get on these boards when he is as slippery as molasses? I can tell you from experience. My wife got him to work because he was into construction.
Oh, Lord.
My wife got him to work at one of her apartments. He gave her a price. She paid him a deposit, and he never finished the job. So how in this world does these people get on these boards?
Boy, I don't know.
I hope he tries to sue me so my wife can bring the proof. It is ridiculous.
Wow.
My name is Dexter Banks, in case he's listening. So I can call names, because when I call names, it's all about
facts,
proof. Never came back. He started it, and the work he did was haphazard. The work that he did on her apartments at Gosling, he did a haphazard job, and then she had to get somebody else to correct the work that he did. It is so sad that people like that be on the board. But it's not what you know, is who you know,
Yes, well, we know that these are political appointees in any event.
My God, I mean, what is this island coming to, and who are we truly building for? People these politicians don't realize, as soon as these developers get what they want, they're going to kick them to the curb. But then by that time, they'll have so much, they'll line their pockets, and they become so rich, they can go someplace else and leave us Caymanians to suffer.
Yep.
Oh boy, I tell you.
What a mess.
And thank you for bringing. I know this is a different subject, but I'm happy that you went and saw those cows down there.
We're gonna talk about that here in a minute.
Yeah, I'll call you back on that subject.
All right, darling. Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
There's so much that agrees me. I'm still looking for his number. Anybody willing to give me his number? What a mess. All right. Good morning, sir. Yep. Symphony says they're the compliant Caymanian puppets that they need. Marshall says it's clear that crooks can be on boards. Listen, there's no requirement to be a board member. It's so funny because I remember when, what's his name now? Y'all got to help me. Oh gosh, my poor memory sometimes. When, what's his name? He was convicted as the chairman of the Housing Trust Board. When I was saying, wow, he should not be appointed on another board, y'all were going to kill me. Do y'all not remember this? Oh, Sandy just being a hater. She don't like Caymanians, apparently. I was like, okay. She don't want Caymanians to, prosper and succeed. I was like, wow, what his name is again? Mr. Miles. I can't remember his first name now. I was like, no, sir. All I'm saying is don't put the fox in the hen house. That's all I'm saying. He has been convicted. I mean, it don't even make any logical sense. This is where I struggle to understand our MPs. Oh, well, I believe in forgiveness. Yeah, I believe in forgiveness too. But you think I'm going to put a child molester around children? Or a thief in a bank? Or doing my books in an accounting firm? I'm like, come on now. There's a lot of other ways in which you can help people other than putting them on a board, which they're not going to do much for the couple of dollars. If a person is convicted of breach of trust and they sent the man to jail while he was chairman of a board, how do you logically, listen carefully, how do you logically in good conscience ever come to the conclusion that you should put that man back on a board again? Thank you, Marshall. Poor Mr. Edlin Miles. I'm not trying to pick on you, Mr. Edlin. I don't know you like that. That's not the point. You see, the point for me is I don't know you and I don't have to know you. That could have been me. If I was convicted of breach of trust for the exact same offense, at the very minimum in society, I should never sit on a board again. How do you explain these types of decisions? I don't care about you having a good heart and you wanting to be sympathetic and helping Mr. Edlin. That's all fine and dandy. That ain't the point. The point is, You don't allow a convict who was convicted for offenses that he did. Listen, he wasn't just convicted for breach of trust and some outside business. In his role as a board member, he abused that role. He was taking advantage of those poor people trying to get government housing and have them go through his insurance to get it, and told them all sorts of stuff about they had to do that in order for their application to be approved. How do you put that man on a board ever again in his life? There has got to be consequences for our actions. And in lieu of accountability and any meaningful and real consequences, this is why we have to be careful with politicians. They want to sit down and reconstitute the NCC and get rid of all the experts and put their friends on there, their little lackey friends or whoever the heck they are. Oh, no. That's part of what's wrong with the CPA now. We can't allow that to happen. Leave the technical experts on these boards. In fact, all boards should be comprised of technical experts and not political appointees. There's absolutely no accountability when people put their friends on these boards. It's ridiculous. I've sat on a board before, way back in the day. I was on what was the trade and licensing board at the time. In more recent times, after the last election, I had a certain MP. I already told y'all who he was. And in case you missed the memo, Chris Saunders approached me. Any board, Sandy, you name any board that you want to be on? I said, who? Who you talking to, honey chill? I don't want to be on your boards. What do I look like? Do I look like somebody who's desperate and has nothing else to do with my time? Now, listen, board members play an important role in this country, but I don't need that. I don't want it, and more importantly, I don't need it. I'm not looking for no free lunches. I'm plump enough, thank you very much. I can eat anywhere that I feel like eating. I don't need the money, and quite frankly, I do not have the time. I'm busy. And most importantly for me, as I was like, what kind of conflict of interest would that create? What board could I possibly sit on that at some point or another, I might not be reporting on something that falls under that board? That would be ridiculous. I could never be an off-right. I could never be in the port. God knows they all need to go. Like what board could I be on? A relaxation board that does nothing? Couldn't be on CIAA. There's like no board. Like I can't even, to be quite frank, I was a bit surprised that he even asked me the question, because I've never expressed an interest to any of these sitting MPs of being a board member. But you see what I'm telling you? Get out there, folks, and be your own person. Own your own coins so that you're not beholden to anybody. Because they put you on boards. They think that you think they're doing you a favor by putting you on boards, but at the same time, they want to be able to control you and to control your narrative. Now, who you think can control Auntie in my big mouth? Not today, Bobo. I'm just saying. That would have been a complete fiasco. So sometimes I know that they're not thinking straight, offering me a board. Any board that I wanted, anyone you want, Sandy, you pick. I was like, no, thanks. I'm not interested. Chat, please. Johan is in the house. Good morning, Johan. Begging for more brownies. He said, somebody stole my brownies, so pretty please link up for another hit. You mean to tell me you ate all them brownies already? You know, there's a certain pickleball court waiting for your lower valley butt to run up and down on. You better give me a call. You have to start exercising there, Johan. You can't outrun a bad diet, though. So don't come thinking you're getting any more brownies. Marshall says, I don't believe you, Johan, right? He ate all the brownies already. Well, it was his birthday, and what the heck? You only turned 50 once. Christopher Bryan in the house. Good morning, Chris. Says, fact is, we need to change the requirements for eligibility to run for office. We need to include that members have an education, no conviction, and have good character. Same should apply for board members that have experience only in Cayman, kiss my teeth. What a hot mess. Yes, honey child. What? The Instagram link done already? Hold on, let me refresh it for them. So, one second here. Yes, Chris, I'm all for it. But then the people are, oh, we're not gonna have enough options. I am like, I chuckle at America, but I know that we are no better of a situation, to be quite frank and honest. Because I say, of all of the millions of Americans that they have, really qualified people that are running conglomerates and well qualified and legal minds, and they're winning all kind of Pulitzer Prize and this for physics and that for math and da. They pick 2 dodos to run for political office. I mean, my God, how is that even possible? That the best that they could come up with on both sides of the fence, because I don't care who's Republican and who's Democrat, the best they can come up with is Trump, a criminal, now convicted finally. But he's been a criminal for a very long time, been doing the most, all sorts of civil lawsuits, bankruptcies. The man is morally bankrupt, and he's an idiot. I don't care how many of you like Trump. He's stupid. Okay? He says the most ridiculous stuff. I saw it this weekend. We posted it for those of you who are Trump lovers. He's talking now about, we need to start giving foreign nationals who come here and get an education, we need to start automatically giving them a green card. I laughed. All y'all talking about, let's make America white again. I mean, what was his slogan again? Great again. Let's make America great again. Y'all are really seriously on board with him. He's going to make America right again with foreign labor and foreign brain power, because the man says that you guys are so, you're getting dumb now because all the smart people come to America, get their degrees, get their education, and then leave the country. And he said, go back to China and India and are building industries over there. So now he's like, we'll give you a green card to get you to stay. Isn't this the same man who was building a wall trying to keep people out? I'm like, what the heck? He can't even be consistent with his stupidity. Anyway, that's y'all problem. I'm not getting into him today because that would take me a whole 5 days. Good morning, Stephen, joining us in the UK. Natasha says his name is Johan Belly. Oh, by the way, National Brownies and Baking Board for Auntie. That's a board I could do. Listen, that banana bread that came out pretty good, Gigi said it was a hit at her school. The brownies, oh God, the poor brownies. Alexa messed up my timer and they were overdone. Like, you can't overdo brownies because then they get hard. She was still trying to crunch in it because chocolate, kids with chocolate, right? I was like, girl, take that brownie out of your mouth and throw that in the garbage. No, Mom, it's still, if you knock out another one of your teeth, the tooth fairy is not coming. Put the brownie away. But she brought back empty containers for the banana bread. She's like, Mom, everybody loved the banana bread. Now, they went a little bit, because the timer didn't go off. They went a little bit longer than I would have liked them because I like my banana bread nice and moist, but I soon make some more. Debbie says Trump is a damn fool. He really is. I mean, I can't believe the stuff that he says. Oh, my gosh. Yes, Michelle, where's Lavana? Did she comment? She had her surgery. It was successful. She's in recovery mode. Al Ray says Trump for 2024. Americans have really shocked and surprised me from when I lived there. And I put nothing past them. They might very well put him back in. Only God knows. Siobhan says, where's my brownies and my CMR mug? Well, I got your CMR mug for you. By the way, somebody said, Johan wants more brownies after cussing you out about dry brownies. All right. I'm going to explain something to you guys, and I need y'all to pay attention because I know sometimes Johan is a little bit hard to read. He is. You can't take Johan entirely serious with probably about 50% of what he says. Anytime he's talking about my brownies, do not be fooled. He just likes to say you dry up brownies, and then after the show, he's messaging me if he can get a batch. It's a joke. He doesn't mean it. He loves my brownies. Did y'all not see the picture of him with the brownies in hand, with that big smile on his face, honey chill. If we cut off the brownies for Johan, he might really be upset. So, it's just a joke. Don't worry about it. He loves the brownies. But you know what? I think he's secretly saying that in hopes that you guys will never ask for the brownies. If he keeps saying they're dry up brownies and y'all are believing him, you're like, I don't know. I'm not going to try Auntie's brownies because Johan's always complaining. That means more brownies for him. Mm-hmm. Y'all see the plot line? I'm just saying. Don't be fooled by the double talk. He secretly loves the brownies. Oh, good news. On Friday, that mother called in about her daughter. Remember that conversation? Those of you who were there for the after show. She called about needing some help finding her daughter. And I'm happy to say that her daughter has been safely returned. What was the young lady's name again? I can't remember her name now. But anyway, I've said to the mom, listen, such a sad situation. I don't know why the child is running away. Obviously, she was in counseling. It sounds like she needs it. Tell her that I'll talk to her. You know, we've all been there, I guess, where we don't want to listen to authority. Those teenage years are so tough. And, you know, poor thing, she's lost her dad. She sounds like she's going through a lot for a young lady. But don't mess up your life permanently. Latoya, yeah, Latoya's back now, poor thing. Oh my God, I feel so bad for her. So Abby, we're blocked on we should be back up tomorrow, but we're blocked on the public pages because apparently it's the same reason we got blocked last week on YouTube. We played an Apple video that I guess we were not supposed to play. And so it's weird because YouTube blocked us right away. I guess their AI is like top notch. Facebook didn't do so until Friday, which was like a week after YouTube, which is weird. But anyway, we're in a slight jail. We only got jailed for 2 days. So I figured it was better to have some options available on YouTube, Facebook. So I opened up my page to that. And it's good because about almost 200 of you, 189 fluctuating of you are on Facebook. So there you go. Jim says, all the people in the US, and we have these two bozos to choose from, shaking my head. Philip says, to be fair, both of them are at that stage. What a mess. I never said he was any better, except he's not a convicted criminal yet. There is a difference. And I think in some ways, Biden has to be the better option because Trump's entire life has been one of criminality. He grew up with a father who was hoodwinking poor people and being racist about, you know, the housing choices that he's making for his housing that government was paying him for, by the way, his low income housing that wasn't so low income. So he's always been a hot mess of a situation. It's just that, you know, when you have the ability to get money from banks, not even your own money, you can flex your muscles. How about old Trump Tower? You don't even own it. It just has your name on it. But anyway, like I said, I'm not getting into Trump. It's a whole mess. It's a whole mess of a situation. Yeah, Siobhan, I got a mug for you. Cameron says, oxtail is horrible too, by the way. Don't know how anybody can eat that. I don't actually cook oxtail, so you got a luck, honey chill. I will eat it occasionally, but I don't cook oxtail. Sorry. All right. So let's talk about the cows for a minute. I am extremely upset about this man. What's his name? Did somebody send me his number? Let me see now. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. I know that you're on a different subject about Donald Trump and
no,
Biden.
we finished with those two bozos. We're not talking about them.
After watching the videos, and I'm so happy that you went down there at Meadow Avenue and Mount Pleasant Road and seen the condition of those cows.
Mm-hmm.
It bleeds my heart that there are people out there still supporting him as a farmer. To me, he's one step from being a criminal for the way that he is treating those animals. I mean, it is so sad. I seen these animals. You know, he has a bowl about 5 feet across and about 2 foot wide that he puts water in those. The cows, they don't know the difference between. Once they get liquid, they're gonna drink it. And yesterday they were drinking this feces water. And the little troughs that he did, I must say he put one on a stilt. But the amount of food that he puts in those for 12 or 14 cows, that cannot be enough for the cows. Although I must say the cows don't look like they're going hungry. And there's no shade for them. The only thing that's saving them now is the logwood trees got leaves coming back, but they got to get to the logwood trees. They got to stand in the water, and the word that you were trying to remember is foot and hoof disease. Saturday I went to Kirk supermarket because I'm on a mission. People might say, "Oh, you understand? They might want to destroy this man." No, we do not.
I don't even know who the hell he is. Why would I want to destroy him?
I've seen him. I've seen him. That's it. We're not on a mission to destroy him. He's destroying himself by the way he's treating. But nobody wants to speak out. Where is this Mankind? Mankind does not just pertain to humans. It pertains to animals as well. But I'm going to go to all of the supermarkets and speak to the management, because a lot of them, I don't know. I know Kirk's, they do the local beef as well, but they didn't. The person that said she didn't know who to buy it from, they don't even have to tell me, but I just want them to be aware, and I will take these photographs that I have and let them at the supermarkets. This got to stop. And Eric, and what's the name? Eric Borden, the guy that is
the animal control
animal
officer.
welfare.
Yes.
He has some mental issues. Being sympathetic to
well, how do you know he's sympathetic? Did you speak with him?
Yes, I spoke to him before, just after this happened. And he says, "Oh, with all the rain that they're having, all the farmers are having the same problem." Not all the farmers. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but this has been going on. This is a big place, and George Smith had, from what somebody told me, that he has down there behind the stadium. There's also a bunch of cows that can't even get to the shade. It is really bothers me when Mike Emanions goes to and abuses these animals. I don't care if he hears that I've been because I don't have nothing to hide. I have a thick skin.
Really sad.
And what you need to do is to invite Eric Borden and Crutchley, the head of our agriculture department, to come on your show.
It's very sad. Thank you, Mr. Dexter.
Okay.
What a mess. I don't even know what to say. I am utterly flabbergasted, to be quite frank and honest. All right. So, like I said, I was in West Bay yesterday, went for brunch. And quite ironically enough, I hadn't planned it, to be clear. My husband decided to take the scenic route. I think he just made a wrong turn. We were coming off of the bypass, and he turned right off of the Esterly Tibbetts, the end of it, instead of left. And so he just decided, well, he's going to go through Mount Pleasant And when he was going through Mount Pleasant, first of all, I saw one house being built there. I'm like, oh my gosh, that land had enough space for a house? Y'all really overbuilding. I mean, like, seriously. Like he said, I don't know what plan to be approving. I'm like, these are the correct setbacks? Anyway, as I was looking out the window and I saw these cows, I was like, oh my God. I said, what the hell? Whose cows are these? And then I looked up at the street name and I said, oh my God, these are those cows. I thought it took me a minute to realize when I saw Meadows Lane, I was like, these are the same cows? Mr. George. Wow. Boy, I tell you. No, sir. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can show y'all the little video that I did. My goodness. I was like, this has got to be, this can't be real. Here are the cows. Poor things. And the little baby calf. All right, so we've been talking about these cows for weeks now. And here we are in West Bay again. And the same guy who was the past president of the Agricultural Society, the poor cows, so sensible. They're trying to go on the little pieces. Look at the little baby one over there, the little baby calf. My God. So they are trying to get on these little mounds that have a little bit of higher ground. But most of this land is completely underwater. And we see some of the cows over there still standing in water. There's those ones right there with absolutely nowhere to go. Can animal control not do something about this? I mean, this is horrible to have these cows, and it's Sorry, the video's a little bit those ones right there with absolutely nowhere to go. Can animal control not do something about this? I mean, this is horrible to have these cows, and it's literally raining right now. There's that little one trying to eat that little thing. My God, like seriously, they're gonna get wet foot, wet hoof, or whatever they call it, standing in water all day. And you know, cows being what they are, you know, they were moving around a little bit. So when we were leaving West Bay, we drove past them again, and poor little things. More of them were actually standing in the water. I mean. Let me, shall we call Mr. George? Surely this man gotta be more sensible than this. I mean, I know I'm expecting a lot out of some of y'all, but let's see. Let me see now. I have some people sending me his number. Let me see. I mean, I can't believe that you'd be treating these poor animals like this.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning, Mr. George.
Hello.
Hi. Good morning. Hello. Mr. George hung up. Y'all think he could hear me? He sounded like anti-speechless. Could he hear me, or did he hang up on purpose? Let's try one more time. Maybe he couldn't hear me. He was saying hello. Let's try again.
Oh.
Hi, Mr. George. Can you hear me?
Speaking.
Yes. Hi, Sandra Hill here. How are you?
I'm great, actually.
Yes. Listen, can I speak with you on air? We keep talking about your cows, and we're wondering if
Sandra,
there's.
Listen, hold on a minute, Sandra. You know, I think what you should have done is you should have called me prior to what you call it, because I mean, you know, this is a typical thing of locals. You know, we're trying to tear down each other, and you all know how. Listen, if I was doing something wrong, the Department of Agriculture would have tore me apart.
Oh, really?
Yeah, read up about animals a little bit.
So
okay?
having Mr. George. Hello. If he was doing something wrong, the Department of Agriculture would have tore him up. So that means he is waiting He's going to keep these horses in this condition. Wait until the Department of okay, well, let's call the Department of Agriculture. Who's over there? Department of Agriculture. Okay, man. So they are complacent. So because they're not saying anything to him, he's not going to do the right thing. I mean, you were head of the Agriculture Department. What is it that the Department of Agriculture needs to say to you? What the heck? Hello, caller.
Yes, Andy. Why don't you call Eric Barton? His phone number is 928-1153.
Okay.
928-1153.
I got him. Don't worry.
Okay.
Let's give him a call. Can y'all hear the phone ring? It sounds a little bit low. Not so sure why this is coming in low. Can y'all hear that phone ringing? I am calling him, by the way. Just the volume sounds very, very low. Very low. Mm-hmm. No answer. That was WhatsApp. Let me call him direct. I mean, I'm a little bit confused here. First of all, Mr. George, to be clear, nobody's trying to tear you down. I don't even know you. Tear you down for what? We're just asking you to treat the cows with a little bit of consideration. That's all. No, sir. Y'all got some conspiracy theories going, that's for sure.
Hello, good morning. How may I help?
Mr. Eric, morning.
Yes,
Sandra here. How are you?
Oh, not bad, Mom. How are you?
I'm good. So listen, you're live on the radio. Our audience wanted us to call you this morning because we're trying to find out what the protocol is with livestock. Does livestock fall under animal welfare and control?
Livestock falls under animal welfare and control, yes.
Okay.
Generally under the animal law.
Mm-hmm.
But the department has a specific section which controls livestock extension, which covers husbandry and guidance and stuff like that for the animals.
So listen, there's some cows in West Bay that, the last, call it 3 weeks now, we've been having a considerable amount of rain. And these poor cows have been standing in water probably that entire time. I saw them for myself yesterday, finally, because we'd received footage and pictures and stuff from other people. And I finally saw them yesterday. And I'm wondering, why isn't something being done? We just called Mr. George and he claims that if there was a problem, you guys would have said something to him, which I'm a little bit surprised that no one has said anything. But is it, in your professional opinion, as a welfare officer, is it healthy for cows to be standing in water like that?
Well, it's not entirely healthy for animals to be standing in water constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're standing in the water constantly, then it'll pose some health issues in regards to softening their hoofs and stuff like that.
Right. So why isn't somebody doing something about this then?
So based off of animal husbandry technical guidance, it has been noted to me that Mr. George's premises or farm in which his animals are being kept, where he has some mounds of dirt or mounds of soil that is that is adequate to keep the animals dry at that location.
Have you been by there?
Personally, I haven't been by there since the report has been made, because we had some other reports that we were catching up on.
Yeah.
And
can I just make a suggestion, right? Because I drove by there yesterday, and the observation that I made is, number one, the mounds are not sufficient enough for the amount of cows that he has. The ones that could get on the mound were certainly doing so. But it's flabbergasting to me why he doesn't just get enough fill and cover the whole area, elevate it properly. So this is not a problem for any of the cows, because there's still some of the cows standing in the water. The ones who could lie down on the mounds were doing so.
So not all animals then have access to the mound.
Well, what I would say is the mounds is not sufficient enough for all of them to stand on it. It's not that they wouldn't have access to it, but there's too many cows to stand on the one tula mounds that he has. So what he needs to do is properly fill the entire area.
Yes, and so stocking density is an issue for the...
Yeah, and it's a substantial amount of water, because when we drove back by, I just happened to have been there for brunch. I'm going to send you the footage so you can see it for yourself, right? But when we drove back by, the cows obviously can't stay laying down all day. They need to get up and move. So they started to move around, and they were back. A lot of them were back actually standing in the water again. So he obviously isn't capable of doing this himself, which I was told by someone very familiar that there is a plan in place, and he could actually take the cows to the agriculture department because they have higher land up that way. So if he was minded to do that, he could do so. But he doesn't seem to be minded to do it because he thinks we're just trying to hate on him for no reason, which is ridiculous. Okay. Nobody's trying to hate on him. We just really want the cows to be, because if he's a livestock owner, are those cows, which you said it's not entirely healthy, does that mean that they're going to be in the meat population come Christmas time?
It's hard for me to actually say that in regards to what is his plans for the actual animals. Yeah.
Well, I mean, what else you have cows for if you're not going to turn it into meat or something?
Yeah, what I can do is I'll contact the livestock extension unit, which is a part of the Department of Agriculture, and I'll actually conduct a visit along with them, so that from their expertise and knowledge, they can actually give me input as to what is required, or what is what you call humane for the animals on island.
Yes.
In regards to these flooding situations.
Yeah. We would appreciate that.
We know that we have a challenge all around the island, but of course we will actually we will give advice where advice is needed. And I'm actually aware too that the department did send out media or social media advert in regards to what was required based on the prone flooding areas.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, I don't know if they have a livestock, Farmers of America, Farmers of Cayman WhatsApp group, but they need to just, remind them of this stuff.
We do have a WhatsApp group for the Agriculture Society, which is their farming individuals or farmers who is actually on WhatsApp to actually get up-to-date information. And we do send that to the Agriculture Society to actually disseminate to their farmers as well.
All right. Well, hopefully this can be resolved. I mean, this is ridiculous. And I understand those poor cows. I guess different ones over the years have been there for quite some time. So it's not a new situation. I'm a bit surprised because his response, we just spoke to Mr. George, his response is, well, nobody from agriculture said anything. So clearly there's not a problem. I'm like, wow, I don't know. He's supposed to be a farmer, past president of the Agriculture Society, common sense. Something should tell him that this is not in the best interest of the poor cows. So we're hoping that you can prioritize this. I mean, I don't know what the forecast is for the rest of the week, but I can tell you that standing water looks like a real problem for them.
No problem. Well, as I stated earlier, I will actually make contact with the extension department or section.
Yes.
And arrange with them to actually travel with me to the location or meet them at the location so that we can do an assessment. And I will, as always, provide you with an update.
I appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
No problem, ma'am. Thank you so much,
Okay.
and you enjoy the rest of your day, ma'am.
Thanks. You too.
Okay.
All right. Bye-bye. Now, how hard was that? Poor Mr. George. No, nobody not telling me. Somebody got to tell you you're doing the wrong thing. Somebody got to tell you you're abusing the animals. My God. No, sir. We need to do better. Morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandy. I must be the most talked about person. What Eric should know that these cows are drinking feces water. And I was looking for you. You must have forgot that because I've seen them over and often, and liquid is liquid to them. Water is water. They do not know what's in that water, and those cows are going to have so much health problems. I'm not here to hurt George Smith. I don't
even know Mr. Smith, so I don't know why he's taking it personal. I should have called him first.
Want to defend himself. He puts it, points the finger at the agriculture department, and something need to be done. But I can tell you one thing: I will be personally going to the supermarkets and I'm going to talk to see if I can make an appointment with Ulysses or what's the name? The guy that's in charge of Foster's. I know him personally.
Mr. Woody Foster.
Yeah, Woody Foster.
Yeah.
I'm going to Hurley supermarket and speak to the manager so that they can boycott him, because there's no way that those cows can be healthy after this.
Yeah.
Because they're going to have warm infested intestines.
I haven't ate yet, Mr. Dexter. Let's leave it to the imagination. But yes,
sometimes the general public have to know this.
I know.
You have to make it as gross as possible, but factual. And it bothers me when you call him George Smith, and he doesn't want to talk to you because his back is up against the wall.
Well,
about putting him down.
He said, yeah, I mean.
Nobody's trying to ruin his reputation. He's ruining it himself.
Yep. He said I should have called him first, because clearly that's my job. I mean, I know y'all think I can solve everybody's problem, but I shouldn't have to be calling you. You're the one who's the friggin' farmer, not me. If you don't know that there's something wrong with what you're doing, why should I have to be the one to pick up the phone and call you? I don't even know you, son. Get your life together.
Well, I can tell you one thing. I am not going to back down.
Well, hopefully they'll get some help as of today. We have some assurances.
I am not going to back down in this, because I'm tired. I've given him enough time. You have given him enough time to do something.
People have been talking about it forever. Somebody else sent me some other footage saying this was yesterday. I mean, look at them. Look at this water that they're standing in. My goodness. All right, Mr. Dexter, leave me there. Mr. Eric Bodden said he's going to request a visit with the livestock experts, whoever they are. So hopefully we'll have an update soon.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it, my dear. No, sir. I'm really bothered, right? When people are called out for their behavior and their response is that somebody else should have done something. Dude, you are in an enviable position. You are a cow expert, livestock expert, past president of the Agriculture Society. I don't even know anything about cows. Why do you think that I should be the one to call you and tell you to get yourself together? Is that even necessary? You've been doing this for years. Good morning, caller.
Yeah, morning, Sandy.
Morning.
You know, me being a part of the West Bay community, I don't know the guy. I don't know him personally or anything like that, but I go across there every time, to go to my my grandparents' home, and I gotta say this, instead of me trying to power down on this guy, why we can't come together as a K-Mankind community and just say, like, what is it that we can do to help benefit this guy with his problem? Because it's a simple solution that these cows
But
need
Alejandro,
shelter.
you think he's not capable of finding a solution for himself?
Like I say, I don't know the man.
Neither do I.
I don't know what this. Look here, I don't know what this guy got from what he don't got. And if
all right, well, I tell you what he does have. Alejandro, listen to me. He has a job with DEH. That's what he has, which is better than what you got, right? He got a job at DEH because he's always there with the DEH truck, doing stuff on government time with the work truck that we paying for. And then you want us to turn around and help him even more?
Well, Sandy, you got people out there in the community that got big time jobs and they still need help. But what I'm trying to say is that if we have skills on this island as a community, we got a whole pile of carpenters. I'm pretty sure they got a bunch of Honduran people here that know how to build with wood. And they have, and look here, they have platforms that we could build on that area. Like, say, for example, you know, when you go to the public parks and you see the huts and they have like a wooden platform with a bench in the middle or something like that. Let's just say we can build something 3 times bigger than that for them cows to sit down in, at least when they have the rainy season, 3 or 4 of them. I'm just thinking outside the box. I'm not saying that what we have to do, but maybe with the little generous community that you got going on, maybe they can chip in a little bit of thing. I got the skill.
All right. Let me make myself very clear. I'll send you his number and you can certainly reach out to him. What I don't believe in doing is helping people who are capable of helping themselves.
Maybe the funds are not there. I'm just saying, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know the man on the moon. And this is the problem that we all have. We don't know the people that we castigate in. You guys castigate me all the time. You don't know who I am. But then yet you don't ask for help. You know, we tend to don't ask for help on this island because we have too much pride. We don't want to ask for help, so we're gonna try to do it on our own. And then when we fail, everybody is looking down on us like, you know, he don't even know what he's doing or what are they. And you know, instead of us reaching out, giving a hand and saying, maybe we can probably reach out to him and say, is there anything that we can do with the public's interest to say, can we build some shelters for these people, for these cows? Or I mean, I just saying this out of my own consciousness, thinking that maybe the guy might need help. I don't know the man. But I am concerned about the animals too. I'm concerned about them that they're sitting down, that they're standing up inside the water as well, you know. But really and truly, what is it that we can do if we don't reach out to say what is it that we can do? We can help if you need any help. If he don't need any help, then obviously he don't want to do anything.
Okay.
But if everybody is against him, I'm not gonna if everyone was against me, I'm not gonna reach out for people to get affirmation or validation or anything. And really and truly, I would want to try and stay away from all of this situation. So if it's the fact that no one wants to help him, then I don't know who the problem is then. Really and truly, if his concern and if our concern is that the cows have a good life while we get ready to butcher them, I don't know what it is that we want to do if we're gonna just continue complaining about someone's problems if they don't have the means to meet to it.
All right.
Really and truly, we can solve this situation. It's just to build a few platforms for the cows to sit down on that where we don't have to worry about him transporting them all the way up to the agriculture department. That's a lot of cows to transport.
Okay.
I'm not saying that that's my responsibility, but if we really do care about the cows, why we don't just? I see you raising money for certain things. Why we cannot just?
I'm gonna okay. Thank you, Alejandro, and I'm going to answer the question.
If he works in the DEA, then well, okay. You know.
All right. Thank you very much.
You should just take it in consideration. You know.
All right.
5
thanks.
minutes.
I appreciate it. All right. Okay. Let me try to clarify a few things here. We help people who can't help themselves. If you are able-bodied and you have the resources to be able to put something in place for yourself, we're not here to help you. That's how you create a socialist state. When everybody feels like they can get help, she said, even people who have good jobs need help. What kind of help you need if you got a good job and you have resources? You can pay for the help. Okay? I'm just saying, you don't hand out help to people who are capable. What is there something wrong with Mr. George? Like I said, I don't know the man either. He is the past president of the Agriculture Society. He's part of Cowboys Cayman, Agriculture Society Cayman. They have resources to help each other. Huh? I understand the agriculture department has things in place for him and farmers like him. If he needed help, he needed to ask those relevant people. Surely he could call up Farmer Joe and be like, hey, Joe, all this rain is coming. Can you help me move my cows? All these years, the cows have been there. He could have built something from a long time ago. It's not our job to help everybody when they are capable of helping themselves. And if he's not capable of helping himself, he has resources and people around him. He knows what needs to be done. We need to stop defending slackness. Okay? I'm all for helping people who need the help, who genuinely don't have the resources. When we start helping people who are more than capable of helping themselves, we create a socialist state where people think, oh, government is the one and other people are the ones who are going to solve all my problems. You mean to tell me after all these years of being involved in farming and having all these cows, this man don't know how to treat cows humanely, where they're not standing in water 24/7? Somebody said, oh, I've seen all the cows up on the mounds. Why not just get enough fill and bring the level of that property up? I didn't even know that that's the right spot for them, but I'm just saying. Somebody said that cows should be in proper grazed land. Because again, they're sitting there drinking that water. They don't have, I don't know what he's feeding them exactly, but my God. I'll race the ease up on him because he has good intentions. Well, the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Everybody got good intentions until you end up in hell. Good morning, caller.
Good morning, Sandra. How are you doing today?
My dear. How are you?
All right. Me and you together. Who saw? All right. Get that over with. Listen, there's two sides to this, okay? If you ask me. Somebody who raises animals myself, there's two sides to this which you become aware of. One is that, yes, I do agree that George should have put down some fill there and leveled off that ground. But from what I understand, the land is leased, so maybe that's part of the reasoning.
Well, if he can put the mounds of sand there, what's the difference?
No, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm just giving you possible reasoning why. Let's just make this clear. The pictures previously did show that the road itself, the main road, because of the topography there, I know you should have noticed when you drove by the area that, the topography to the back is higher, so that's always going to happen. Even if that land was filled in up to road level, it would still be flooding out. So that gives you the recourse to possibly consider shifting the animals in times of heavy rain, heavy weather, as a potential resolution to the problem itself. To speak on the fact of the possibility of government entities helping George himself or anybody else who's a rancher here in Cayman, with the understanding that 99% of Cayman's arable lands have been overtaken by subdivisions, which I think that was an unwise move from Cayman's perspective on a national level. But the whole road itself would be more inundated with flooding, and then all of that flooding would then go to the neighboring properties. That would just be a natural consequence of that happening. I'm not saying that I disagree with the idea that, yes, the ground itself should be at least level to road grade. But there are two sides to this. One is there's a lot of people who don't seem to understand that all of the beef that comes from up north spends their whole life in winter time, either out in the very, very cold weather, getting rained on, getting snowed on, getting hailed on, X, Y, and Z. And if it's not that, they're inside a barn up to their knees in manure, wet manure. This is whether or not it's the best practice that could be followed. That's just a simple reality of the situation, So I just like people to get a little bit of equal perspective on this as to how it happens. There was somebody who made a comment about hurricane time. Well, the reality is, what do you think happens to cows up in the United States of America when a tornado passes through? These are natural disasters and natural hazards that livestock, unfortunately, will always have to contend with. Those are the realities. My humble suggestion would be this. Ask the NRA, if you have contacts in the NRA, they have huge mounds of aggregate there down on the bypass, the Newlands bypass, huge amounts of it. So maybe George or yourself or somebody else, as this issue is so acute right now, not that the rest of us are going to get it, bring some stuff in, get him to pay for it at a reduced rate, and get him to pay somebody to come and spread it. But it's still not going to actually help. It's not going to completely remedy the situation. And even then, it would increase the flooding on the road itself and in the neighboring properties at that same main road area there. They basically have cow manure, I guess, on their front lawns. If it were me, I wouldn't be so troubled with it because that's good fertilizer. But so it goes. Yeah.
What a mess. All right, my dear. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Have a great day.
What a hot mess. I mean, y'all need to learn how to help yourselves sometimes. Jesus. Does George, like I said, I don't know the man. Does he really need us to solve this for him? Because listen, I'll go let those cows out. You know, I'll take him to higher land. All right. Then I'll get charged with interfering with his cows and God knows what other charges they'll be levying against me. No, sir. What a mess. What time is it? Oh, I do have to head to court this morning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show a little bit early because I need to bring y'all this story. This is another example of people that we give the privilege of coming to Cayman and they just can't behave themselves. They don't know how to run a proper business. Not that they don't know how to do it. They refuse to do it. And I suppose y'all gonna be telling me that we need to help these crooks too. They don't want to pay people insurance and pension and they feel like it's not a big deal. I heard someone say recently, and I was a bit surprised by this, that someone who, I once considered a friend, take heed, they overheard her say with her own business that she doesn't believe in paying pension. And apparently she only started paying it once it became a jailable offense. And I was very surprised at that because I don't really spend time with people who believe in breaking the laws of this country. If you're a business owner, when you become a business owner, you know there's certain obligations. Maybe you were in business before those obligations were there. You've been in business for over 30 years now. But if you don't want to pay pension and you don't want to pay insurance, then get out of business. It's as simple as this. If you don't want to pay your staff, then get out of business, right? We can't allow people to remain non-complacent and in the process end up hurting people because they just don't feel like they respect and they want to follow certain laws. Pension and insurance is one of those things that I think the legislators, while they're so concerned about the things like the National Conservation Act, maybe they need to fix pension insurance legislation. And as the courts say, tie in some real sentencing opportunities for them. Because when you don't pay your pension, that's theft. The court has said it is a form of theft. Okay? And yet the legislation does not reflect it in that way. I think I need to refresh this page. Looks a little bit, hold on one second here. Looks a little bit frozen. Give me one quick second. Let's refresh it real quick. It's struggling to pull up my video. Ooh, this internet issue today. Y'all need to do better. What's going on with this Maya 1 cable? Cha. So it wants me, you can. All right. Hopefully that was not too much of an interference while I try to upload this video. But yeah, I mean, listen, you know, in court this morning, this lady, Miss Pars, I'm going to see what the court is able to do with her. But the court continues to say that their hands are largely tied for offenses like this because it's a slap on the wrist. And this woman actually lied to the Department of Labor and Pensions when they asked her to show us the insurance plans that you have for staff. She provided fraudulent information to them. She should be going to jail, is what should be happening to her. Mm-hmm. Scammers, remember when I tell you they come in all shapes and sizes, and some of them pretty up and put on nice Sunday frock and want to be singing the hymns, but that don't mean nothing. That does not mean anything at all. Uh-oh. Somebody said the radio's gone. It is? All right. Hold on a second. Maybe you just need to play a little music. Hold on. Stand by. Stand by. Honey chill. Okay, radio folks, thank you so much. All right, so listen, back last year, let me see how long this video is actually. I think it might go over time a little bit. So we'll, it is, is this the, 51 minutes? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to actually split this up into two different videos because we wouldn't have enough time to play both of these, right? So let's play the one that's 51 minutes. And then we'll play the interview on Wednesday's show. So just FYI, Thursday and Friday, I'm not going to be here. Auntie's taking a break, honey chill. So I won't be here. I'm going to miss you all as I hit the malls. But I'll be back. Monday's a holiday, so July 1st is a holiday. And then we'll be back for the Tuesday segment. So this, what I'm going to play this morning, this is the National Conservation meeting that happened on the 19th, which was just last week. They had it in the afternoon. I know a lot of you would obviously have not, this was last week, Wednesday. You would not have been able to attend this, but I want y'all to sit back and listen very, very carefully. Because all of this is their general meeting. But again, I think a lot of these, councils and departments, whatever, they need to start sharing this information more and more so that we can actually see exactly what it is that they do. Somebody says, is that Faith Yapars? The one and the same, honey child, one and the same crook. Yeah, same one. And my understanding is she's been crooking people for quite a minute now. And her number's finally up. And y'all know, I don't curry favors with nobody. I don't care if you're grandma, what you look like. If you're breaking the laws, you find yourself in a world of trouble. But yeah, that's her. Same one. Her mouth and a lot of people, her name's in a lot of people's mouth because of the foolishness she'll be going on with. Anyway, she'll be sentenced today for one slew of charges. I mean, the list is so long. Anyway, I got my notes. We're going to write up the story, so y'all pay attention. And we'll discuss her probably on tomorrow's program. But in any event, I want y'all to listen to this NCC general meeting that happened last week, Wednesday, in case you missed it. Tomorrow we'll be back. It's obviously Tuesday, so good old Health City will be here for us, with us. I don't know what their topic is yet. I'm not sure if they've sent it through. And then we will continue on into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We won't be here. Monday is a public holiday, and we'll see you back on Tuesday. All right? Stand by. Listen, these are moments. This is what I like to call a sip and learn moment, because this is an opportunity for us as Caymanians to really know what's happening in our country. We can't talk about these issues if we're not even paying attention. I'm just saying. Okay? All right, honey, chill. So this meeting happened. I'm going to fast forward a little bit to maybe when it actually started. But it happened, oh, Lord, how long? Let me try to back up on when they started. All right, let's see. That's 4 minutes in. Did they start 5 minutes early? All right, so yes, so I will head out to court, get some news for y'all, some of the SUFs to keep y'all updated on exactly what's going on. She's been back and forth in court. I've seen her a couple times. And so today is finally going to be her sentencing day. Some of y'all can have these things postponed for so long. It's quite shocking how much court time is wasted on these matters as well, because the defendants always find a reason to have it postponed. Sometimes it's not even the court or the prosecution. It's the defendants trying to put off the inevitable. What a hot mess. All right, video is now starting, folks. Sit back and listen. Oh, look at that beautiful turtle and mangroves.
And a host of legislators spent over a decade and numerous rounds of public consultation agreeing the specific provisions of the National Conservation Act, which passed unanimously in 2013. The Act establishes the National Conservation Council that was created to promote and secure biological diversity and the sustainable use of natural resources in the Cayman Islands. Many in our community feel directly the continuing loss of Cayman's natural heritage and are growing increasingly concerned that our native habitats and its unique plants and animals will not be known by the generations that follow us. At present, the Act provides the only legal means of giving effect to the constitutionally protected principles of sustainability, whereby social, economic, and environmental perspectives have equal weight at the table. The National Conservation Council has a mandate to ensure that we can continue to enjoy the magic of Cayman's biodiversity for many generations to come. But to be successful, we all must work together as a community to build and preserve the Cayman that we want and wish for our children to inherit.
30 seconds.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the National Conservation Council's public meeting. Mr. Secretary, could you confirm we have a quorum?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, you are correct.
Okay, and could you proceed with the agenda items?
Yes, sir. The first agenda will be to ask if any members have any interest to declare.
No.
Thank you. No.
Okay, thank you, everybody. And in that case, before we commence our normal agenda, I'd just like to make a statement in view of certain public events that have been taking place recently. And given the recent press coverage on matters relating to the work and functioning of the National Conservation Council, I wish to make a brief statement before we begin our meeting. Although the National Conservation Council has not yet been formally or officially consulted on any possible changes to the National Conservation Act, Council wishes to express its grave concerns after the publication of the Cayman News Service article last week, which reported details of the alleged amendments. The Council is particularly concerned about some of the possible proposed amendments and what appears to be a misinformation campaign designed to discredit the National Conservation Act and the work of both the National Conservation Council and the Department of the Environment. The passage of the National Conservation Act in 2013 has enabled the Cayman Islands government to fulfill its duty under Section 18 of the Bill of Rights in the Cayman Islands Constitution Order, which states, "Government shall, in all its decisions, have due regard to the need to foster and protect an environment that is not harmful to the health or well-being of present and future generations, while promoting justifiable economic and social development." 2, to this end, government should adopt reasonable legislative and other measures to protect the heritage and wildlife and the land and sea biodiversity of the Cayman Islands that limit the pollution and ecological degradation, promote conservation and biodiversity, and secure ecological sustainable development and use of natural resources. The National Conservation Act also enables the Cayman Islands government to meet its commitments under several international multilateral environmental agreements, included but not limited to the Convention on Biological Diversity and the Ramsar Convention on Wetlands. Additionally, the NCA enables the Cayman Islands government to fulfill its responsibilities under the Cayman Islands Environment Charter, which was signed by the UK Minister for the Overseas Territories and by the Honourable Makiva Bush OBE JP MP on the 26th of September 2001. The Environment Charter includes guiding principles and a set of mutual commitments by the UK government and the government of the Cayman Islands in respect of integrating environmental conservation into all sectors of policy planning and implementation. Precedent from the Bermuda courts clarifies that the Environment Charter is in fact a legally binding agreement. In 2012, prior to the passage of the NCA, the UK government commissioned an assessment of environmental protection frameworks in the UK overseas territories. The assessment focused on species, sites, developmental control, and people, and a report was produced by the Foundation for International Environment Law and Development Field and the Royal Society for the Protection of Birds, the RSPB, in February of 2013. The results revealed that along with the Pitcairn Islands, the Cayman Islands was the only one of 16 UK overseas territories to have been assessed as weak across all areas. In relation to development control, the report noted, integration of environmental concerns into the planning procedures is weak and there are no formal EIA requirements. The draft National Conservation Bill would introduce a formal process for the triggering and scoping and conducting of EIAs. The development plan for Grand Cayman is from 1997, despite the law requiring review every 5 years. Other development plans are absent. In relation to the area of people, the report stated that political accountability for decision-making is limited, as is the extent of transparency and consultation. The report also confirmed that enactment of the draft National Conservation Bill was seen as necessary for the strengthening environmental governance in all areas other than development control, which required updating of the development plan for Grand Cayman and the creation of development plans for Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. The various provisions of the NCA are therefore necessary to support and provide for a robust environmental governance framework for the ultimate benefit of the people of the country. All of the provisions of the NCA embody the best international practice, such as the Act's use of precautionary principle, which acknowledged the likely significant risk of adverse effects or the potential for irreversible damage as reasons to fully consider the environmental implication of all our decisions and plans, and to err on the side of caution when all the relevant information is not immediately available. This is why it is imperative that the competencies and expertise of the Department of Environment continue to be available to assist Council with the proper and efficient discharges of its functions and duties, and that the requirement for the majority of Council members to possess relevant technical or scientific expertise remains a part of the Act. With the passage of the recent rainy weather and the resulting flooding of roads and residential areas, the benefits of making evidence-based decisions to protect human life, property, the economy, and the natural environment are obvious, hopefully, to all. Hopefully, it should also be obvious to everyone living in the country that despite the dire predictions of its detractors, the various provisions of the NCA have not in fact impeded economic growth and development since its passage in 2013. The official government statistics certainly bear this out. The NCC strongly believes that the NCA is extremely important to our collective efforts to preserve our Caymanian identity and our quality of life. There is a growing body of evidence which shows that a healthy environment, which is underpinned by strong legislative protections, is a prerequisite for healthy people as well as a healthy economy. The NCC is therefore resolute in its belief that the various provisions of the NCA are absolutely essential for the sustainability and viability of our country now and in the future. Any amendments to the Act which dilute the Council's ability to act efficiently or that result in poorer conservation outcomes and a substandard environmental governance framework for the people and the natural environment of the Cayman Islands are ill-advised and are therefore strongly discouraged. Council is also aware that there has been significant public interest in a second judicial review of a recent CPA decision to approve an after-the-fact application for the construction of a road in an environmentally sensitive area in the eastern interior of Grand Cayman. The CPA decision violates the consultation provision of the NCA, similar to the unlawful decision of the Boggy Sand Road proposal, which resulted in the Grand Court and Court of Appeal finding in favor of the NCC. Based on legal advice, the NCC filed the judicial review as it appears to be the only legal way to have the unlawful CPA decision quashed and revert to them for proper consultation under the NCA and in accordance with the recent Court of Appeal judgment. As one of the parties to the judicial review, there is nothing which can be said that is not already a matter of public record, other than that it remains our hope that a negotiated rather than a litigated resolution can be achieved between the parties. And thank you for your time and attention. So shall we resume the regular agenda items now?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, we can. The next thing for council will be the confirmation of the minutes from the 3rd of April 2024. They were previously circulated to members. I don't know if any of the members have any questions or issues about them. Or if any member would like to move that they be accepted by consensus.
I propose we accept the minutes.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you, Steve. Then through you, Mr. Chairman, the next thing would be if there's any matters arising from the minutes. I didn't note any before the meeting, but obviously if any council members have anything they want to raise. Otherwise, sir, the next thing would be the exam of the DOE reports. If you'd like me to proceed?
Yes, thank you.
So first, just noting for council's reference, as was the responses to Section 41 consultations that the Department of Environment has been putting out over the first quarter of this year. The number and the timelines that we've been hitting. The ones that where they weren't able to get it out within the roughly 3-week target time would have been those ones where where the department had to go back to the applicants for additional information or to find out things or consult with the applicants before making an informed delegated decision. If council members don't have any questions about those, as they were all circulated in advance. The other thing, again, just for council's note, is the seizure report from the Department of Environment for the first quarter of this year. As council members will recall, it is a requirement under the Act that when our enforcement officers seize things, it is reported to council for your reference. This is usually the seafood, whatever they were poaching. but it could hypothetically be other items and materials, which is particularly why it would be reported to council. However, this quarter, it was really just the poached material. Council had asked to know when it was repeat offenders being found or if it was sort of new people. That all information is in there. It's back and forth, all depending on the situation. As a non-specific, how to say this, not a scientifically accurate sample, statistically significant sample, but usually a lot of the ones that we get where it was someone new, it is a bit, they're trying something. They kind of know what they're doing is wrong, but they're just trying something on, like taking a little bit of extra whelks or something in season. The times when we get repeat offenders is often because they know exactly what they're doing and they're going for a significant haul, such as poaching over 100 conch out of a protected area and doing other poaching at the same time. But that information is there for council's reference. Any members have any questions about the seizure report or anything else DOE is doing? DOE public education outreach continues, including items related to the Conservation Council or on behalf of the Conservation Council. So the Salvia caymaniensis public consultation that is ongoing now, we keep putting out reminders of that. And other ongoing outreach on the council's behalf of issues that the council is driving. I don't believe there is any particular climate change report from this last quarter. But there has been activity on the environmental assessment boards.
Yes, Mr. Chair, through you.
Thank you.
I can report on those. So at the moment, there are in fact only 3 EIAs going on. The ISWIM's EIA has been concluded, so we probably need to take that off of our standing agenda for reports. So starting then with the airports, those 3 environmental impact assessments, well, they're in the stage now where they should be appointing consultants to start preparing the terms of reference. So that is still with the Airports Authority. There's nothing on the EAB's agenda at the moment for those particular EIAs. Next is the Port Zeus EIA. That does have some forward movement. The EAB approved the terms of reference for public consultation, and in communications with the proponents of that project recently, it appears that they're planning to do that public consultation in or around early July. We don't have a specific date, but that's the proposal, and obviously the consultation would take place on Cayman Brac. The other EIA that we have going on, of course, everybody's aware of, the East-West Arterial. At the moment, again, there is nothing in the EAB's court in relation to this environmental impact assessment. We are now at the stage where the selection of the preferred alternative is taking place. That decision has been put to cabinet by the ministry, which has responsibility for the NRA. The EAB provided our input to the selection process, obviously based on the current results from the EIA some time ago, but we are not aware of exactly where the cabinet's deliberations are in relation to the selection of the preferred alternative. So once the preferred alternative has been selected, then the NRA's EIA consultants, WRA, will then continue to do the more detailed environmental assessment on the exact route of the preferred alternative. And following that, we will then be in a position to assemble the technical chapters of the environmental impact assessment, which have already been reviewed by the EAB in relation to the three alternatives that have been being assessed to determine the preferred alternative. Those will then be assembled into a concise document outlining the likely effects of the preferred alternative route on the environment and vice versa. So that's where we're at. We basically have nothing in the EAB's court at the moment in either of these EIAs, and we're waiting for decision makers in relation to the East-West Arterial, and then we're just waiting for the TOR consultation for Port Zeus. Any questions? Let me know, please.
No, could we move on?
So if there's no questions from the members, the next item for members' consideration is an application for a spare gun renewal, but with spent conservation convictions. So if I can just recap for members. In 2012, the applicant was charged for taking 30 Conk and Frank Sound. In 2013, he was sentenced for that. He then applied for a spare gun license application that
wake up! Wake up! Everybody wake up! Wake up! Open your eyes! Jump out of bed! Open your eyes, jump out of bed. If you're on the bottom bunk, don't bump your head. Ow. Everybody wake up! Wake up! Everybody wake up! Wake up! Find your shoes. Find your sock. Find your shoes, find your other sock. Don't hit the snooze on your alarm clock. Everybody wake up! Wake up! 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 Toothbrush, toothpaste. Now wash your face. Roll out, sound off. It's time to get up. You gotta get up. It's time to get up this morning.